Glam fam, welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is Glamour Bees. Please do like and subscribe. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making this bag. Let's get straight in. This is a list of the items you'll be needing for this bag, and on my table here I have some beads, I have a fishing line, this is 0.60, I have a scissors, or you can use a cutter. So we are going to start with 6 beads, and now we will string it all into the fishing line. This is the fishing line that I cut out. We are going to string all 6 beads into this fishing line. You can string it from anywhere. I've put the 2 ends together like this so that it will be easier for me. I just folded it in halves, and now I've inserted all 6 beads. What you're going to do is that you hold the last one and pass the other end of the fishing line into it, and now we have the first circle. We are working on a 6 flower beading today. Yeah, not really 6 flower all through, but we are starting with 6. Now to continue, we'll pick 5 beads and we are going to pass it through one end of the fishing line. We are going to pass all 5 beads through one end of the fishing line because we are making a turn. Whenever you're making a turn, you're going to pass all bead in one end of the fishing line so that your fishing line can turn, and this is the way it's going to turn. It's going to turn to the middle. Now pass that fishing line that turned to the middle to the other bead in the middle, the second bead in the middle, like so. Once you do your own right, you're going to get it this way. And now we are going to add 4 beads. Remember, this is a 6 flower beading. Our fishing line is coming out in 2 beads, so we are adding 4 more beads to complete 6. Okay, that is just the math behind it, right? You don't have to be good at math to do this. Okay, now the fishing line is going to turn to the middle again. You pass that one into the next bead on the middle, the second bead on the middle, like so, and it's going to form this small triangle for you. Now you're going to add 4 more beads to complete the circle of 6. Again, you don't really need to be good at maths to do this. And then we are going to cross over with the other end of the fishing line. This is a very simple process, very easy to make. Okay, there is nothing complicated about it. Just watch the video and learn. Now we are going to pass just fishing line in the middle to the bead, the second bead in the middle. Once again, we are going to do it, and as you're going, you see that the thing is making a round. Then you're going to add 4 more beads to the other end of the fishing line, the one on your left. Okay, the one on your right is the one that is turning into the middle, and then you're going to add the beads to the fishing line at your left hand side. Okay, and now it has turned to the middle. Now we have 4 beads in the middle. Pass that fishing line into the next bead like so, and then on the left bead again you add 4 more beads. Okay, you add 4 beads and cross it over with the one at the right or the one in the middle. You're just going to cross it over like so. I hope you're getting it, guys. I know that you surely get it. If you did not get it in the first try, please do it again and you're surely going to get it. Now this is the last one there. We're going to pass that fishing line into it, and then we'll pass it into the other one close to it because that is the last one and we are closing up the work. Okay, so we are going to add now 3 beads to close up the work. Watch it and watch it carefully. You are going to have 7 rings of 6 at the end of this stage. You will have 7 rings of 6. Once you get it correctly, you're not going to be mistaken. It's going to be 7 rings of 6, 2 on top, 3 at the middle, and 2 at the bottom. That is 7 rings of 6. Okay, guys, now we are going to continue. We'll pass this fishing line into the next bead. The place is coming now. We are going to pass it into the next bead. Okay, now you are going to make rings of 6 5 6 5 6 5. Okay, that is the second stage. Now we are going to be making rings of 6 and rings of 5, rings of 6 and rings of 5. So we are starting off with the ring of 6, and then we are going to continue with a ring of 5. Now you're still going to be passing your fishing line into 2 beads at the end. Your fishing line is going to come out in 3 beads. Now to make the next ring, which is the ring of 5, you are going to add 3 beads. Now the way you are going to be doing it, you will see the one that you're going to make ring of 6 is going to be looking like a Y shape there. Okay, now you're going to pass your fishing lines and add 3 beads. Then after that, there is going to be a single one that is standing on its own. That single one, you are going to pass your fishing line into just that one, and you make your rings of 5, adding 3 beads. Okay, now we are going to work on the one that is just standing alone like so, and we are going to add 3 beads. Okay, we are going to add 3 beads to complete that ring of 5. I'm sure that you're going to understand this. Just watch it carefully. And now we have a ring of 5. Now to make the ring of 6, you will pass the fishing line into 2 beads. You're going to see that beads, the one at the bottom, there is a bead at the bottom, and the one at the top is 2, and it's going to look like a little Y shape there. So you're going to add 3 more beads and make and complete this ring of 6. Then when you're making your ring of 5, you're going to pass it through only 1 bead. Just remember, in this second stage, you're starting with a ring of 6, and then you pass it into 1 bead and make a ring of 5, pass it into 2 beads, make a ring of 6, pass it into 1 bead, make a ring of 5. That is what you're going to do till you complete this stage. The first stage, we have 7 rows of 6, and on the second stage, you're going to make rings of 6 and rings of 5. You start with rings of 6. You start with a ring of 6. After making a ring of 6, pass it into 1 bead, pass your fishing line into 1 bead and make a ring of 5. After making a ring of 5, pass your fishing line into 2 beads, and your fishing line will be coming out in 3 beads, and you make a ring of 6. After that, you pass it again into 1 bead, and your fishing line will be coming out in 2 beads, and then you make a ring of 5. It's just as simple as that. Continue with that process till you complete this cycle. Okay, I don't want to skip any part of this circle, so we are going to continue now. We are making a ring of 5. Okay, we finished making a ring of 6, and we just passed our fishing line into 1 bead, and there we have it, a ring of 5. Now we are going to make a ring of 6. You see that we pass it into 2 beads now, and we are going to add 3 beads. That 3 beads you're adding is going to be constant in this phase. What is changing is the amount of bead you are passing your fishing line into. Okay, but you're going to keep adding 3 beads to complete it at this stage. Now we are at the top part. We are going to make a ring of 5 now because we passed it into 1 bead. So we are going to add 3 beads to complete that ring of 5. After that, we are going to make a ring of 6. Now we are going to pass it into 2 beads. Okay, we are going to pass it into 2 beads, and we are going to make a ring of 6. We are adding 3 beads now into the fishing line, and we are going to just complete that cycle, that ring I mean. And that's it. We are now going to make the last one, which is the ring of 5. Now to cover up your work, you know what to do. You are going to pass this one now into 2 beads, those 2 beads that are left, and we have our fishing line in 3 beads. Therefore we are going to use 2 beads to finish up our work. Something is always going to diminish when the work is ending. Okay, I'm just going to pass one end of the fishing line into any of the beads, but for me I choose to pass it on one on my right, just 1 bead. Okay, we are going to work on 4 flower beading. This is the simplest part now, and we are going to go around this work. We now have a perfect circle, I'm sorry. So we are going to pass 3 beads to one end of the fishing line because this is 4 flower now, and you know that we already have our fishing line in one bead, and now we are going to pass it into the next bead, and we have it in 2 beads. We are going to add 2 beads and continue working that way. This is a 4 flower beading. Okay, you pass it into the next bead one more time. You're going to work on only one bead now. Okay, we are trying to expand the circle. We are going to add 2 beads into the fishing line on the left, and the fishing line on the right is what we are going to be passing it through. Now we're going to pass the fishing line on the right again to the bottom bead, and we are going to add 2 beads to the one on the left. The one on the left, that's the working bead, and then the fishing line on the right, should we call it the supporting bead? So okay, let's call the fishing line that comes out on the left the working bead, and the one that comes out on the right the supporting bead. Okay, now I'm done with the cycle because it's a 4 flower beading and we're already used to this method. Look at how beautiful that circle is. And now I just want to continue working on 4 flower beading, and I'm going to leave just 3 lines on that row empty, but I'm going to continue working around this cycle, okay, with 4 flower beading. I'm just going to continue going around with 4 flower beading. I started with 3 beads, and now I'm just going to continue with 2 beads. Nothing is complicated. This bag is very simple, yes, very elegant, and I love it so much. I love that the video wasn't even very difficult for me to edit. There was not so much cutting, and it was more easy for me than any other video I edited. So I knew that this bag is going to be very simple for you guys to make. Okay, so I'm just going to continue with 2 bead, adding 2 bead into the working fishing line, and then the supporting fishing line is going to go to the bottom bead, and we add 2 beads to the working fishing line, and then we cross over with the supporting fishing line. Okay, now we'll pass the supporting fishing line again on the under bead, and then we add 2 more beads to the working fishing line. We cross over with the supporting fishing line. We're going to continue this method till we get around the circle, leaving only 3 lines at the top. Okay, from that place that we started, we're going to leave 3 lines in the middle to where we are going to end. Okay, so look at it. We're going to just walk all through that cycle till we get to that place. I'm still working. Okay, I think I've completed this one. I think my video went blurry there, and now we're going to continue. Look, I made 2 parts. I already made 1 part. We're going to double this thing. Okay, you're going to make it into 2. You know, we usually do our work in 2 places. Please don't forget. So we are going to continue working again, going around the cycle. Like we're going to go around this circle 5 times. The other one is also 5. Okay, we are going to continue going around that cycle for 5 times. We are going to make 5 rows of that cycle. That is it. 5 rows on the left, 5 rows on the right, and we are going to join it in the middle. So continue doing your work till you get 5 rows of that cycle, leaving only 3 rows in the middle. Okay, we'll complete it and we'll get right back. You see the rows, that is 5 each. And now we are going to join our bead. You see how they came. This is 5 on one row at the top and 5 on the other row at the 1 row at the left and 5 on the other row at the right. So I cut out a fresh fishing line and I pass it through the first bead on the top, then I add 1 bead to it and I pass it over to the first bead on the top of the left side, and all I'm going to do now is to add 1 bead to one end of the fishing line and cross it over with the other bead. This is the joining part. This is the same method we use to join everything. Now we are going to pass each end of the fishing line to the part they are facing. The one on the left will go to the left, the one on the right will go to the next bead on the right, and we are going to cross it over with one bead. You continue that method. The one on the left will go to the next bead on the left, the one on the right will go to the next bead on the right, then you cross it over with just one bead. You're going to repeat the method again. The one on the left goes down to the left, the next bead on the left, the one on the right goes down to the next bead on the right, and then we cross it over with just one bead. Okay, continue that method. Please, if you've watched to this point and you have not subscribed yet to the channel, what are you waiting for? Please kindly subscribe to the channel, leave your thoughts in the comment section, like this video, and do share if you like. I see that many of you have been sharing my videos and I'm so grateful for that. Please complete yours. Okay, complete your joining and we'll get right back. Now we are done joining and I'm just trying to make the handle. This is going to be a cubic square handle, and I've already made three weavings, three rows of weavings. Okay, for the cubic handle it's just a simple 4 flower beading method, and you are going to make 3 rows, and you fold it the way I fold it. Fold 1 row on the right, fold 1 row on the left, leaving you with 1 row in the middle, and then we are going to cover up the row on the top. Okay, now we just add 1 bead, pass it to the other one on the right or the left depending on where you started from, and we are going to add 1 bead to cross it over. Okay, that is just it. Continue the same way. The joining method is the same method you use for joining. That is just what you're going to repeat here. Pass each fishing line on the side they are facing. The one on the right goes to the next bead on the right, the one on the left goes to the next bead on the left, and then you're going to cross it over with 1 bead. Okay, and that's what you're going to do till you complete this handle. Is a very simple handle, very easy to make. Complete yours and we'll get straight to attaching it into the bag. We'll finish making that handle. Okay, don't mind the fringes. I'm going to show you how to make the fringes, but for now we're going to first attach the handle, and you see that the flap of the bag is still the same 4 flower beading. Okay, we just continued working on where we left off after joining the two side. So I've added the flap and I have added my metallic lock. Is a magnetic lock. I have a video, I might link it in the description box, on how to attach a metallic lock to your bag, or a magnetic lock to your bag rather. I have that video, so I'm going to either attach it at the top of this video or in the description box. So if you don't know how to insert your magnetic handle, you have to watch that video. So this is just me trying to fix the handle of the bag into the bag. Yes, so basically I just cut a new fishing line, add 1 bead to it, pass 1 head into one part of the one end of the handle, and the other end into the middle of the flap where I want it to be. Is going to be on the middle. You know that the places we left over, we left 3 rows empty without working on it. So on that 3 rows, the flap, the side that is coming on the middle one in the 3 row, is where we are going to attach the handle into. Okay, sorry that I didn't add the part for the flap, but maybe you will learn it in another video. I might still make a bag that looks like this one with a flap, so you're going to see, but make sure that it aligns in the middle. That is just it. Count yours and check the one that is in the middle part of the flap. Then you're going to attach the handle to that middle part. Do it on both sides of the handle and you'll have your handle done. After attaching everything with one bead, just like the way you did when you are joining, you're going to tie a knot and you are going to weave it through your work. Please don't cut out your fishing line after tying a knot, and then you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side of the bag. Is that clear? Make sure that it aligns in the middle, and that's it. Now we are done adding the handle. This bag is very gorgeous, and we are going to start. I'm going to show you how I attach the fringes to the bag. It's just easy. Just cut out a fishing line, pass it into one flower of the 4-flower bead, then pass it into all 4 beads, okay, and tie a knot, making one longer than the other one. Then the one that is short, we are going to pass it through the bag because we don't want it to come undone, okay. We are going to pass that shorter one, just weave it through the bag. We are not working with that one, just weave it through the bag. Like when you tie your work, you're just going to weave it through the bag, and we are going to work with the longer one. Now first off, I add one big pearl. This pearl bead is in 16mm, and then I add 2 crystal beads, and then one big pearl rather, and then 2 crystal beads, then 2 pearls. That's just the order, but you can do yours in any order you like. You can even switch these fringes for rhinestones. You can, it's going to look very good, right? You can switch it for just rhinestones and use rhinestones instead. There are these rhinestones that comes already joined together. You can just buy it, cut it apart, and add it as your own fringes. It's going to look beautiful. Maybe I'll make a bag with that design, and then you're just going to continue working on this method. Then the last one is going to be a crystal bead, or is it a pearl bead? Yes, the pearl bead at the last one. You skip that, the very last bead, and weave your bead, you weave your fishing line all through the bead back up, okay. You're going to skip the very last one and weave it all through the whole bead on the fringes, and pass it into the next bead in the middle there. Just pass it into the next bead and make another fringe that will go just down like so. So now we are going to repeat the process all through this end of the flap. Just add one big pearl bead, you add 2 crystal beads. You can choose any bead of your choice. You don't even have to do it in the pattern that I'm doing it. You can decide to use only crystal beads for your fringes. You can even decide not to add fringes at all if that's your vibe. You can just make it like that, just with the flap and the lock. It's still very beautiful. And then you're going to skip the last one at the very end of the fringes, and then you're going to bring the fishing line all the way to the top. That way you reinforce your fringes, and it's going to be firm. It's not going to loosen up. It's just going to stay in that position, okay. That's just all for it, and you're going to repeat the process till you're done making the whole fringes, okay guys. And then after making all your fringes, make sure that you do not cut out that fishing line. Please make sure to cut out enough fishing line that will go a long way for you. But if your own ends are the way, like halfway through, pass it, weave it through the bag, and continue working. And now we are done with the tutorial. This is what the bag look like, and I attached a chain handle to it. This is it. It's very beautiful. You can take it anywhere. You can take it to your party, you can take it to church, you can take it to wedding. It's very gorgeous. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.